Do you know that your five senses keep you broke and poor? And do you know your imagination can help you to create positive results? I'm going to teach you on this whiteboard about a person who uses his five senses most of the time and he has negative results. And on this whiteboard, I'm going to teach you about a person who this person uses his imagination and he creates positive results. And why is it so? And how can you start using your mental faculties? One of them is imagination to create positive results, to rewire your brain. Okay, here, look, here on this whiteboard, as you see, this represents a person. Okay, he has here five senses and he uses his senses to do what? To take all his information regarding his own life, regarding what's going to happen, regarding all his or her decisions and actions. He put all his decisions, actions, thoughts, emotions based on what? Based on what he sees. Look, he have five senses, okay? By the way, he sees everything. He makes decisions based on what his eyes dictate to him, okay? And most of the time, because the results that he wants, they are not in this physical world for him. And he make a mental picture of what he doesn't want or what he lacks. He because his senses, for example, he wants money, but his senses tell him, hey, you don't have money. And he makes a mental picture of what? Lack of money. Okay? And then this mental picture in his brain, in his mind, puts his body in negative vibrational frequency. Okay? And then he starts feeling bad. Okay? He doesn't know the cause, he doesn't know exactly what's happening in his nervous system, in his brain, but his body now is in negative vibrational frequency because of what? Because of the negative picture that he chose, and now he is emotionally involved with that negative mental picture. And now his brain, look, his brain is transmitting what? Transmitting powerful vibrational frequencies into the field, and it receives back exactly the same kind and the same amount of energy that he's firing off from his brain. And look here, the results that he has, mostly they are negative. Why is it so? Because he mostly uses his senses. Okay? Here, he has one big problem. The problem is his training or conditioning or paradigm in his life. From his childhood, he has been trained to use his senses most of the time. And nobody has taught about mental faculties or imagination to him. He doesn't know. Okay? He doesn't know. If you also, maybe if you talk with him about imagination, maybe he ridicule you. He says it is childish, it is for children. We are mature human beings. We have to use our senses to be logical. This state of mind, honestly saying, is ignorant. Is because of ignorance. Here we are going to create all the time negative results. Why? Because our senses, look, our senses here in your brain, they are going to take information from your environment, and because you don't have what you want and desire, you are going to think about the lack of what you want. Okay? And then your brain is going to transmit frequencies And those frequencies are going to be manifested in your life as a negative results. But here, how to transform your brain, how to renew your mind. Look, God has created you in His own image to be a creator. Okay? How can you create? Look, on this whiteboard we are explaining this. As you see here, we have also, it is the same person, and here he, instead of depending or using or taking all his information via five senses, he used his imagination to imagine what he wants. Look, he has the same problem. This guy is this guy, or this girl is this girl. Now, look, he instead of depending entirely on the senses, he is going to use his imagination. Look, by imagination, he is going to create a picture. Here, by the senses, you are going to create a picture also. This picture that you create here, you created this picture by your imagination as well. You use your senses and you use your imagination automatically and unconsciously. But here you're going to consciously choose what to imagine, what to image. You're going to make a beautiful picture that you want as your own positive result in your life. And you are going to think and feel that picture, this mental picture, this dream, this desire has been already occurred in your life. It is at this moment, or you are in this process, you are in the process of achieving, or you have achieved a little bit and you are in this process, you are going to mentally imagine this picture. As you do so, you're going to put your own body in a positive vibrational frequency. Okay? And then, look, and then your brain, you're happy. Here, you are not happy. You're unhappy. You're sad. You're angry. You're in anxiety. But here, you're going to be full of joy, full of happiness. Here. And your brain is going to transmit what? Is going to transmit the vibrational frequencies of the image or the thoughts and emotions that you imagine here. Think about this. Look, here your brain is transmitting the data or the picture, information that you create or use or take by your senses. And most of the time it's negative. But here you can choose, you can imagine what you want. And as you do so, your brain is transmitting low frequencies and it receives back. And then here the positive results are going to be created by your own brain frequency. It's just the design of the God or the universe that God has created you in His own image to be a creator. Here you have been enslaved by your own senses, but here you're free in your imagination. You can imagine. But unfortunately, most of us, we have a tendency to imagine what we don't want. But we have to stop this and start making a habit gradually. Every day, sit 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Imagine what you want. Imagine your best version. Imagine the best results that you want in your own life, in your own project, in your own studies. Only imagine, because if you imagine, you're going to create that. But if you don't imagine what you want, you only keep taking information from your senses, okay, then you are going to create a mental picture of what you don't want, and then your results will be negative. And the cause is because of you, the way you think and feel. Look, you think and feel, the vibration here is negative because you see the lack of what you want by your senses. Here, by your imagination, you see what you want. Okay? And your brain and nervous system, they can't differentiate between what you imagine and what you see by your senses. In either case, it reacts. It acts based on the data that you feed to your brain. If you feed what you want by your imagination, your brain is going to use those data to steer you towards that goal, and your brain will be on a frequency that your desire is on that frequency. And then you are going to magnetize to yourself what you want. If you don't use your imagination consciously and positively, you are going to use it destructively to let your senses to dictate to you what you want, what you don't want, or what you lack, and then you will stuck in the lack, in the negative vibrational frequencies, and those frequencies are going to manifest in your life because you are creator. Look, you are creator, and the point here is to renew your mind from being a victim. Look, here you're a victim. You have negative results and you don't know why it's happening. Look, here, negative results, sickness, lack of money, here you lack. But here, no, here you're powerful being and you have positive results. You can start imagining and picturing what you want. You have to make that picture, that positive picture, and focus on that picture. If you do so, your brain is going to use those data, that picture constantly, and it will put your body in a positive vibrational frequency. You will feel very good, you're happy, and then you keep broadcasting those frequencies. And then other similar positive frequencies will come to your mind, and then you will think more and more about this picture. New ideas will come, new circumstances will appear, new people will come to your life. Everything will change here. Why? Because you have transformed your inner self, your mind. How? By imagination, by imagining positive things. Here, if you only let your senses to dictate what you want, really, you are going to struggle all your life and you will have poor results. Your results will be poor. You will be a broke man or woman, all negative things here and positive things here. But I don't mean that you never use your senses. No, use your senses, but start practicing imagination. Start imagining all the time. Imagining what? Imagining, for example, if you are sick, imagining that you are healthy. If you are poor, you don't have enough money, imagine that you are multimillionaire. Imagine that experience in your brain, not one time, imagine more and more. Here, there will be a battle between your senses and imagination. Your senses will fight with your imagination and will tell you, hey, this is not reality, what I tell you is reality. It's wrong. Why? Because your brain frequency creates your reality. If you change your brain frequency by your imagination, you're going to create positive results. But if you keep trusting your senses and believing that you don't have money and you will never have money, or you're a victim, you can't do anything, then your brain frequency is going to transmit those negative frequencies that you are poor, you cannot do this. And then the same situations will stay there. How? Because you are creating your negative or positive results yourself. You are not a victim, you are a powerful being. Okay? You just have to know, understand, and also take action to practice your own power. Okay? If you do so, you're going to succeed. If you don't do so, you're going to fail. You know, here we have ignorance and here we have knowledge. I know you're going to come to this side to practice your imagination, to use one of your mental faculties that nobody taught about it to you. You know, if you do it, you're going to create positive results. Otherwise, negative results are here. You see, I want to teach you more and more. But for now, you have to understand that your brain is transmitting frequencies all the time. It doesn't care that you use your own senses and you start thinking about the lack of what you want. Or here, you start imagining what you want. You know, your brain doesn't care and it doesn't differentiate between what you imagine or what you sense. In either case, it's it's broadcasting the frequencies. And those frequencies are going to manifest in your life. Look here, as a positive result. If you doubt this, start imagining the small things that you believe. Start imagining them. You will see that your imagination creates your own results. You know, if you also look back, you are going to see that whatever you have in your own life, you have imagined them. Be very, be very honest with yourself. Tell to yourself honestly, what you have now, have you imagined this before? 100%, you imagine you wanted that, you made that mental picture and you didn't know how to get that. But now you have that result. And also about the negative results, think about that. At some point in your own life, you have imagined those negative results. Because if you haven't imagined them, then you wouldn't have them, you know. You have created the negative results that you have. Also about you have created your positive results. But how to renew your mind? You must stop. Look, you must stop this side. You must come to this side and start imagining what you want. This is the secret key. If you imagine what you want all the time, take action, you know, if you start imagining what you want and transmit those frequencies, new frequencies will come to your mind. You have to do other actions, you have to take some actions, you have to do this, you may call this, you may, do this, and you don't know, you are going to go, and then you are going to see that what you have imagined manifested in your own life that in the beginning you didn't know how. The secret is in the way that God, the Lord, has created or designed we humankind. That your brain is working with the mental pictures that you choose to entertain time by time. If you focus on one mental picture, it is just mental picture, it is in your imagination. If you focus on that and get emotionally involved, it means believing it. You must believe, you must feel the emotions that you have, and it is for you. You should not care about the how. You just only focus on having it now. If you do so, your body will be in a positive vibrational frequency and your brain is going to send out frequencies. And then here the results will be exactly what you have imagined. So now, only imagine, use your imagination consciously and unconsciously, positively, only positively. If you worry, if you regret, if you feel bad, at that moment, be aware that what you are doing. You are using your own imagination in a wrong way. You are going to create more negative results. You are going to create, okay? There is no saver. You are the creator. But here, if you start using your imagination positively, your brain is going to send out those vibrational frequencies and you're going to create positive results. The secret, the key is with you, it is within you. You only need to wake up and start using your imagination positively in a way that God has created you to be in His own image, to be a creator. How? By using your own imagination to create images that you want. Look. And you can do this by repetition, by practice. You must repeat, imagining what you want. Imagine the scenario in your own mind. Make it completely reality. Feel it. Do it for a long time. And don't think about the how and the time. Forget that. Just live in there in your own mind, and it's going to be appeared in your life, and you will not know the how in the beginning. You will know it after it happened. This is the secret for renewing your mind and becoming a new person based on neuroscience and neuroplasticity. I'm Ilia. I'm so happy to teach you this great lesson. I hope you enjoy. For more information, you can check our videos that we have. You can check our books on Amazon. Put your comments under this video. Let me know how you feel about this knowledge, what you think, Love you all. Till the next videos.